Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do a sort of different build. This is, what did I call it? Ocean huts. Did I call it ocean huts? I'm not sure. It's basically little, if you've ever seen those pictures of like the Maldives or Bali or something like that, they always have these like little homes on over the water, and I decided to sort of create something very similar. Unfortunately, we can't actually build on top of water. I would have really liked if these homes like stood on stilts instead of like a foundation or something, so it's kind of not ideal that you can see the walls when we put in the pools. And yes, I did make them pools. I know I usually accidentally forget to make them I forget to make them fountains, so Sims can swim in it. But this time, actually, I wanted Sims to swim in it, so I made it a pool. And yeah, so the pool is basically going to surround the entire little beach huts, I guess. I'm not sure what they're called, but I'm calling them beach huts or whatnot. Anyways, so we are actually having a little bit of problem here. I don't know why, but the fencing just wasn't working out. I'm not sure why I decided to keep this in, because I could have cut it out, but we're just seeing me struggle a little bit. But yeah, so basically when I put the fences around, they should actually create a room, and this time when I actually removed them and then did it again, it did create a room, so I'm not sure what happened. But there's been some building like problems that I've had occasionally, so you just have to redo it and do it again. And yeah, so we are building actually in the bluffs. Is it called bluffs? I think so. It's that kind of it's not secret like in Jungle Adventure. You actually have secret like lots. This one, you can see it on the map, but it's just a little bit hidden away. So yeah, there's no like houses next to it or anything. I thought that with these like beach huts, it was definitely difficult to find a good lot to put it on, but I decided to go on this one because it had the most tie-in with like nature. It had a lot of like green plants around, and yeah, unfortunately we can't actually build on top of like an ocean or a sea or a lake or whatever, so this is the best I could do. And yeah, but we have basically, well, in the beginning, we basically created like a lot of like weird walls. So none of the walls are really like, as you can see, it's not like a box. It's not like super straight walls. I mean, the walls are straight, but they have a lot of different edges to them. And yeah, so I knew I wanted to make the roofs like these little octagonal shaped roofing things, but yeah, so I basically made them into like 3 little circles and then put like a little sort of semicircle, not semicircle, but like sort of circle roof on top of each of them, and I think it worked out pretty well. There was a couple of times that the walls poked through, but what I did was just rearrange the walls, and I think it turned out really well. So yeah, and then it's great because we have this kind of roof pattern. I'm not sure what it's called. Is it like a thatched roof or something? But it's like a natural material roof, and yeah, so we just put that around, and now we are actually doing the quotation mark ocean part. Obviously these are pools, and they're not actually a ocean. I would have liked to actually made it like go out into the wide like body of water, but we didn't have that. And then I decided to change up the water because I thought, you know, whenever you look at those pictures of the Maldives or Bali or all those kind of island places, they have like the most beautiful water. I've never been. I've never been to any one of these, like, I've never actually experienced any of these beach hut things, but you know, maybe one day. It's so pretty. I think I would have to go there, maybe with a significant other. I don't think I would want to go there with like my family or anything. So yeah, but that's just a wish for the future. And yeah, so we are putting trees around, and this was a mistake. Later on, you can kind of see how it's a mistake, but I do sort of skip over it a little bit because it does become really redundant. But anyways, we're just putting some trees around. I'm not really sure what the good trees were to put around, but I just chose some random ones. So obviously you can see it's definitely really random. Are these willow trees? I'm not sure what these trees are called, but they have branches, or the branches and leaves that like hang down, and then I'm also using the, I think it's cherry blossom, the like bright pink one. And yeah, so definitely using a random bunch of trees. And yeah, I'm just creating a couple of little patches around, just layering a lot of different plants and rocks. And I think it looks semi-good. I mean, I didn't want to go overboard with like the blending of the like, what is it called, the shrubbery around the lot. You can definitely see that there's some harder, rougher edges, and yeah, that just is because we can't really blend it that well. I mean, we don't have terrain editing or anything like that, so it's really hard to do that, and I didn't want to spend too long doing landscaping, so we decided to only do a couple of things here and there, and yeah. So this is actually this like wooden pathway at the back of the homes. That's actually just like the pathway to get from like one of the lots or one of the buildings to the other. So each of them actually function as their own like house. So they each have like a bedroom, a kitchen, a bathroom, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's meant to be kind of like those beach huts that you see like in the pictures and stuff. So there's like one long hallway and then, or not hallway, there's one long pathway, and then they each like branch into their own section of the little homes. Unfortunately, this lot isn't hugely like too big, or it's not that big, so I wasn't able to get more than 2 beach huts, but I think 2 works. 2 is good. And I didn't want to furnish too much either, because sometimes, I mean, I like furnishing, I do, but sometimes when you're forced to like furnish a lot of lots on one build, it does take it out of you. I mean, you kind of lose ideas, you aren't really inspired, and also I'm just inspired by the exterior of the build as well. So if the exterior looks a certain way, then I usually like to make the interior some sort of like design or something. And sometimes when you're working on the same build, it becomes hard to keep thinking of new ideas for each room. And that's something that I struggled with in one of my previous builds, the mini mansion. So the mini mansion, that one had, I want to say 5 bedrooms. I'm not particularly sure, but it had like 5 bedrooms that I had to furnish, and with like the first bedroom and the second bedroom, those ones were easy, I guess, to furnish. But when it came to like bedroom number 5, I was really running out of ideas. I just didn't know what to do anymore, so I just put some random things down. And yeah, so now we are getting into the furnishing, and as you can see, this video is actually like pretty long, and yeah, that's because I decided to go, and I mean, we're only in minute 7 or 8 or something like that, so 8 minutes of build, and then the rest of it is just furnishing. And that's because I decided to do or go a little bit more in depth with furnishing. I didn't want to make it minimalistic, so this is meant to be like a vacation home or something like that. Just unfortunately, I don't have any of the not vacation packs, but any of the, what are they called, destination packs or whatever, the Jungle Adventure or the Granite Falls ones, oh no, I always forget that one. It's like the camping one, that pack. I don't have any of those worlds or anything, so I'm just making a like destination spot in Windenburg. And yeah, so it's meant to be sort of a vacation home. If you do have any of the other packs, you can definitely like put this lot into those lots, this lot into the lots in like the vacation worlds and stuff like that. So yeah, do what you want with it. And yeah, so there's 2 different sort of properties, and each of them function by themselves, and they are kind of on the smaller side. It's not meant to be like a huge like vacation home. Obviously, you know, these things to me feel a little bit more like romantic and not something you do as like a family. It's meant to be something that you do like with a significant other. So I only include like 1 bedroom in each of these. One's obviously smaller, and then one is the bigger one. And yeah, even though one's smaller, one's bigger, they each have like pretty similar stuff, so it's not terrible of a difference. And yeah, so I'm turning it tonight, and this is the only part I think in the video that I actually skip ahead, but it took me so long to do this little section. I knew I wanted to put lights because I thought that'd be a little bit, I don't know, fun and cute, so I decided to put these little string lights. Unfortunately, there's like a certain width each of the string lights have, so I have to like put the columns in the right places. And I did actually do the pathway before I did these lights, so it was a little bit tricky trying to fit in the lights with the pathway that I already built in. So that was a little bit tricky. Don't look too closely in the final build because I do think that some of them are a little bit off, but I did as best as I could, and yeah. So I think I am going to skip ahead really soon, hopefully, just because I honestly went on forever. In addition, I removed the ceiling, and there was a skip. If you saw it, it was kind of subtle, but I removed the ceiling. I put a little bit of floor trims around the thing so it wasn't like white sticking out. And yeah, so now we are going to actually, well, we already recolored it. So it was originally white. I'm not sure why I chose white. That doesn't seem like natural at all to me, so I decided to change it to the vertical wood paneling, and I think that looks much better. So we did sort of bounce back and forth a little bit. We did go into the interior a little bit. Oh wait, you know that time when I said, oh, we have like 8 minutes of building and then the rest is furnishing? So that was, I guess, false, because we did a little bit of the exterior again, and then now we're going back to the interior. But yeah, so now this is like the rest of the furnishing, and this is the larger sort of building, sort of structure, I guess you can call it. And yeah, so this one is a pretty decent sized bedroom. Each of them only have one bedroom, just because the little structure is kind of small. It's definitely on the smaller side, and it's definitely a weird shape, so it's a little bit hard to segment rooms. And yeah, so this one is the bigger bedroom. You have a lot more room than the other one. You'll see towards the end of the video when we actually do the other property. That bedroom is really tiny. This one has like a dresser and what is it called? A armchair. There we go, armchair. I was thinking like arm stool, and I was like, that's not right. That's not the right word to use. And yeah, so just a lot of open space for this bedroom, whereas the other bedroom is definitely a little bit more cramped. And yeah, so a thing about this building also, because it's sort of a vacation-y lot, I definitely wanted to make it feel like a vacation furniture. So all the furniture is a little bit mismatched. It's not too like cohesive. There's no strong color scheme going on, and it's not like there's a lot of stuff going on. It's meant to feel like a vacation home. So even those paintings that they did, that there's like 2 identical paintings next to each other, or pictures next to each other. I'm not sure if it's a painting or a picture, but they're right next to each other. It's meant to just be like, oh, you go to IKEA and you buy like 2 of them, and then yeah, you go to IKEA and buy like this and that, and you just put it all together. So it's not meant to be super like designy or stylized or anything like that. And yeah, so you are going with a very colorful cabinetry. So this is not a bright green, but a interesting green, like a forest green. And I thought it was kind of cool. I think green and brown look really good together, so I decided to go with that. And I've never used this green cabinet color before, so I decided to do so. Or countertops, I guess, or wait, counters, green counters. And yeah, so the kitchen is a interesting shape. You kind of go into that little section, and it's like an L shape. So it's sectioned off, but it's kind of nice. And yeah, so we are definitely mixing like a lot of like different colors. So we're mixing greens, browns, and blacks. I think it's like a fashion faux pas, maybe not fashion, but like a color theory, like sin or something, to mix black and brown, but I actually don't mind it. I think that sometimes they can go really well together, and in this case we are doing so. And yeah, just now I was trying to look for some items to put behind the stove, because it seemed kind of weird that the stove didn't really have a proper backing, but I couldn't find any items, so we decided to leave it like that. And yeah, so when we were at that angle, like looking into the kitchen, you could definitely see that there was a weird kind of see-through, like transparent door, but it was also a black door. So yeah, that is a bathroom. It might be weird to put a transparent door into a bathroom, but if you've seen that really cool technology, I don't know if I've ever been to one of them? No, I think I have. I think I actually went to a restaurant once where I went into the bathroom and then I was gonna go to the actual toilet section, and then I was like, wait, the doors are made of glass. Like, how people are gonna see you? What is this? So I actually like went into the bathroom and I clicked the lock button, and then the whole thing just went like opaque, and it was like the coolest thing. I don't remember where that was or when it was. I don't even know if it was a dream. It could have been a dream. I'm not really sure, but I think that's a real thing where there's like you can click a certain button and the opaque or the transparent glass all of a sudden turns opaque. It's really cool. It's interesting, but I imagine it would have something like that. Obviously, that's a little bit high tech for this ocean beach hut, but who cares? Yeah. And anyways, so we were just doing a little bit of decor around the kitchen. I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I don't really use a lot of clutter items, but I decided to do so. And yeah, so we were just making it feel a little bit more, I was gonna say family friendly, but that's not the right word. A little bit more lived in. So we just add like a coat rack with some coats hanging on it, and a couple of shoes, and a lot of clutter items around. And yeah, so it definitely feels a little bit more lived in, a little bit more comfortable. I feel like sometimes I like a little bit, some people would describe it as a cold interior, that I just like very bare minimum. I like minimalism, so yeah. Anyways, so this is the bathroom. This one isn't too spectacular or anything. It's really simple. The counters are just white, and I was taking ages to adjust that soap container because for some reason it always places in the most crap position. It doesn't go well. It either goes like over the sink where it's like hovering over the sink, like in midair, or it just goes completely off to the side. And I never use that soap dispenser because of that. But finally I was like, you know, I'm gonna use it in this build. I'm 100% gonna use it. I'm gonna finagle with it as much as I can to get in the perfect position. And I did. Took a while, but it was well worth it. Well, I mean, was it worth it? It's just a single item, but whatever. And yeah, so now we are going on to the second building. This one is actually a slightly smaller, but I think it still has the same amount of charm. I'm deciding to use this mirror. I used this in my last video as well, the corporate office. And yeah, before that I'd never used it, so we are using it again in this build, and I like it. I think it definitely gives a little bit, I don't know, there's a little bit more style and swagger to it, if you will. And yeah, so because this building is a little bit on the smaller side, the kitchen is definitely smaller, but we try to fit it into this little tiny space. It's kind of weird though, once you open the front door, you just kind of walk into the kitchen, but because it's so tiny, it's okay, I guess. But I am using also a lot of the new items, if you didn't already notice. So the items from the update pack, or why do I keep saying pack? It's not a pack, it's just an update, a free update that everyone got. So I did use a lot of the sliding doors. So you can see I'm using the regular sliding doors, and I'm also using the one that's a little bit more tropical feeling, with the really cool pattern on the wood. And yeah, so that one is used for the front door, and then the sliding door is obviously used for the back doors, or the doors that go out to the like waterfront area. And yeah, same problem though, like I am mixing those doors with the more modern windows, so the heighting is completely off. You can see like on the right that the door is like significantly shorter than the window. It irks me, but you know, what are you gonna do? And yeah, so a big problem about this home though is that this one I think is a lot darker than the other home, because I wasn't able to get like lighting that well. I could have just put like lighting, like ceiling lighting everywhere, but if you didn't know, the beach hut thing, it actually has like 2 levels. So there is a top like octagonal shaped room, I guess, and that one houses the light fixture. Unfortunately, the Sims don't have like, I don't know, I guess it's not like the technology or something to carry on the lighting over to the bottom floor. So if you put a light on the second floor and then there's no like ceiling or flooring, it won't actually like show on the first floor. So that was a little bit annoying because I put a light on the second floor, but you can't see the light at all. And yeah, so I had to put like lighting around, and I couldn't put ceiling lights either because the actual second floor room is quite big and it just took up too much space. So I ended up putting a couple of like floor lighting, a couple of wall lighting around, and I did as best as I could. And yeah, so it's definitely a little bit darker, but you know, it's okay, I guess. And yeah, so hopefully that made sense. I know I'm just talking a lot, but hopefully in screenshots you will kind of see what I mean by the lighting issue. Not issue, but the workaround that I had to do for lighting. And yeah, so this one has a little bit of louder colors. I feel like this is meant for like the younger couple or like kids or something like that. So you have a bright pink like fluffy rug, and then you have like the nice tapestry on the wall. The bedding is like a bright turquoisey mustard color, and yeah, so we're going into the bathroom. Now this bathroom, this is the only part of the home I am thinking might not work. I'm not sure if the sink works, because as you can kind of see, I squished it into that little corner a little bit. I had to get this weird shaped room, this weird small shaped room, to fit like 3 different items, so like the shower, the toilet, and the sink. And it was a little bit tricky, I'm not gonna lie. So I don't know, if you download this you can kind of see if the bathroom works. If it doesn't, I guess you can possibly just delete the sink, because there is a kitchen sink, but you know, whatever. And yeah, as you can see, I did something a little bit different there. Those were actually 3 or 4 different screenshots, but they are taken in a little bit different times of the day, so you can kind of see the lighting change a little bit. I like that. It was kind of cool to do. It took forever though. I just had to sit there, put my speed on like 3 or like the fast forward, and just keep taking pictures over and over again. And yeah, so this is the larger interior space. Definitely a lot more space to hang out, definitely a lot more open, and yeah. And I do actually go outside a little bit so you can see the water. And the water in The Sims 4 is like really nice. You can see it shimmer and glimmer in the moonlight, and it looks so pretty, so cool. This is the plain bathroom, but it's okay. Yeah, here we have the water, and I know it's a pool, but just imagine that it goes on forever, and then, you know, yeah, like when you actually go to the sea, it feels like the water is just continuously ongoing, and it's really cool. I love that sort of feeling. And yeah, so this is the second property, I guess. And yeah, you can see it's a little bit cramped, not cramped, but a little bit cozier than the other one, but I think it still is very nice. And yeah, using the new items. And this is the bedroom, and I did put those like horizontal slats as a little bit of privacy, and I like that. It was kind of cool. Here we have some of the exterior shots, just of the little 2 buildings, and yeah, so this is the sort of like pathway, and you can kind of see the really nice lighting. I thought I'd take it from this angle because it looks really cool. And you can see the bright pink tree in the side. Here are the floor plans, so you can see a little bit more how it's laid out, and then those are the light sections. So that's why I couldn't really put ceiling lights or anything. And yeah, so we do have a couple of final last pictures, and I do a similar thing about with these. Obviously you can kind of see that they're going throughout the day. You can even see the moon in the water, but yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.